Assalamu alaikum. It's long on. I haven't made any video, but now I would like to discuss about lysosomal and glycogen storage disease. This is a very important topic. Okay, starts with this. This is the picture of cherry red spot. This is a cherry red spot on the macula, and if you find that cherry red spot in the macula, you have to think about two diseases. First is Tay-Sachs disease, and second one is Niemann-Pick's disease. If you found cherry red spot in the macula, then you have to think either Tay-Sachs disease or Niemann-Pick's disease. Okay, in Tay-Sachs disease, what would be the feature? In Tay-Sachs disease, there is progressive neurodegeneration. There is developmental delay, and there is hyperacusis, and there is lysosome with onion skin. There is lysosome with onion skin. Now, the most important thing I would like to say that in Tay-Sachs disease there is no hepatosplenomegaly. But in Niemann-Pick's disease, if the picture says the cherry red spot in the macula and in the description you find that there is hepatosplenomegaly, then you have to think that this is not Tay-Sachs, this is Niemann-Pick's disease. In Niemann-Pick's disease, the features are almost same: progressive neurodegeneration, there is hepatosplenomegaly, but in here, in Niemann-Pick's disease, you will get this foam cell. This is the picture of this foam cell, that lipid-laden macrophage. This is the picture of foam cell with lipid-laden macrophage, and you will get this cherry red spot on the macula in both cases. Now, which enzyme is problematic? The deficient enzyme in Tay-Sachs disease. In Tay-Sachs disease, the enzyme is hexosaminidase. Hexosaminidase enzyme is deficient. In Tay-Sachs disease, hexosaminidase enzyme is deficient. Hexosaminidase enzyme is deficient. What happens? GM2 ganglioside is converted into GM3. GM2 ganglioside is converted into GM3 with the help of this enzyme, hexosaminidase. If there is deficiency of this enzyme, hexosaminidase, then this GM2 accumulates, and this accumulated substance causes these features. And the most important thing, this is autosomal recessive. Apart from Fabry disease and Hunter syndrome, the most of the lysosomal storage disease is autosomal recessive. Okay, in Niemann-Pick's disease, you have to remember that in Niemann-Pick's disease, in here what happens, that the deficient enzyme is sphingomyelinase. In here the deficient enzyme is sphingomyelinase. What happens that sphingomyelin is converted into ceramide. Sphingomyelin is converted into ceramide with the help of this sphingomyelinase. The deficient enzyme of this sphingomyelinase causing these Niemann-Pick disease. Now, this is a picture of Fabry disease. In Fabry disease, a triad is called that angiokeratoma, peripheral neuropathy, and hypohidrosis. If you get these three features, hypohidrosis means decreased sweating. Suppose you have done 100 push-ups, but according to your hard work, you are not making enough sweat. At that time, you have to think that you might have hypohidrosis. You might not have, but you might have. These is the three important features: that angiokeratoma, peripheral neuropathy, and hypohidrosis. In the late complication, you may get renal failure. And you may get severe disease. These are the features of Fabry disease. You can remember this naming, that febrile episode, angiokeratoma. In here, the most important thing is alpha glucosidase A enzyme is deficient. Alpha glucosidase A enzyme is deficient. What happens in here, that ceramide trihexoside is converted into glucocerebrosidase with the help of this alpha galactosidase A. If there is deficiency of this enzyme, it will cause Fabry disease, and the accumulated substance is ceramide trihexoside. And I have already told you that it is X-linked recessive. So in this case, you have to remember that angiokeratoma, peripheral neuropathy, and hypohidrosis. I'm telling the higher point again and again to throw a stone in your brain, that you have to remember, you have to pick up this and you have to leave this. Don't try to cram everything. Don't try to remember everything, because it's hard, because the study is too long. This is hard in medical science. If you try to pick up everything, it would be hard for you. Now, the third one is metachromatic leukodystrophy. In metachromatic leukodystrophy, there is ataxia, there is peripheral demyelination with ataxia. There is peripheral and central demyelination with ataxia. Peripheral and central demyelination with ataxia. In metachromatic leukodystrophy, there is central and peripheral demyelination with ataxia and dementia. This is the three important feature of metachromatic leukodystrophy. In metachromatic leukodystrophy, the accumulated metachromatic leukodystrophy, the deficient enzyme is this. The deficient enzyme is aryl sulfatase A. Aryl sulfatase A. That what happens in here, that sulfatide is converted into sulfatides, is converted into galactocerebrosidase. cerebroside. With the help of this aryl sulfatase A, if there is deficiency of this enzyme, it causes metachromatic leukodystrophy. I want to discuss about another kind of similar disease called adrenoleukodystrophy. In adrenoleukodystrophy, it's a disease linked to X-linked, but metachromatic leukodystrophy is autosomal recessive, but adrenoleukodystrophy is X-linked. In here, fatty acid buildup caused by the relevant enzyme not functioning properly, which then causes damage to the myelin sheath of the nerve, resulting in seizures and hyperactivity. Now, next disease is Krabbe disease. In Krabbe disease, there is globoid cell leukodystrophy. In Krabbe disease, there is globoid cell leukodystrophy. Globoid cell leukodystrophy or galactosylceramide lipidosis. Galactosylceramide lipidosis. It is also known as galactoside lipidosis. Okay. In Krabbe disease, there is peripheral neuropathy. Peripheral neuropathy. As the word says, the crab, so it destructs. The crabs are destroy what it bites, so it destructs our oligodendrocyte. Oligodendrocytes. It destructs oligodendrocyte, and there is developmental delay, optic atrophy, and this is the picture of globoid cell. And the enzyme which is deficient is galactocerebrosidase. The enzyme which is deficient is galactocerebrosidase. Galactocerebroside is converted into ceramide with the help of galactocerebrosidase. So, accumulated substance is galactocerebroside, and it is autosomal recessive. Now, this is the picture of Gaucher disease. In Gaucher disease, there is hepatosplenomegaly. In Gaucher disease, there is hepatosplenomegaly. There is pancytopenia. There is osteoporosis. There is pancytopenia. There is osteoporosis, pancytopenia, and there is avascular necrosis of the femur. There is avascular necrosis of femur. And in here, bone cries, and you will get the Gaucher cell. And what is this Gaucher cell? Gaucher cell is lipid-laden macrophage resembling crumpled tissue paper. Lipid-laden macrophage resembling crumpled tissue paper, and this is called Gaucher cell. And in here, there is a deficient enzyme is glucocerebrosidase. The deficient enzyme is glucocerebrosidase. What happens in here? Glucocerebrosidase is converted into ceramide. Glucocerebrosidase is converted into ceramide with the help of glucocerebrosidase. If there is deficiency of this enzyme, it causes this Gaucher disease, and it is autosomal recessive. And last disease, the important one is last disease of lysosomal, not last, but it's a bundle pack. that Hurler and Hunter, Hurler and Hunter, Hurler and Hunter. In Hurler disease, there is a developmental delay. There is developmental delay. This is a picture of Hunter syndrome. There is developmental delay. There is gargoylism. There is gargoylism, and this disease is also known as gargoylism. There is airway obstruction. There is corneal clouding. This is high yield. There is corneal clouding. In Hunter syndrome, there is corneal clouding, and there is hepatosplenomegaly. Hepatosplenomegaly. There is hepatosplenomegaly, and in Hunter syndrome, this is a mild form of Hurler, and there is aggressive behavior but no corneal clouding. So if you want to remember if you want to remember the Hurler and Hunter are kind similar. This picture can be presented as both Hurler and Hunter, but you have to know what is the difference point in Hurler and Hunter. In the Hurler, there is corneal clouding, but in Hunter, no corneal clouding. This is the first point. Hunter is the mild Hurler. And what happens in the Hurler syndrome? In Hurler syndrome, there is hepatosplenomegaly. There is gargoylism, and there is airway obstruction. And the deficient enzyme for Hurler is alpha L-iduronidase. Alpha L-iduronidase. Is the enzyme which is deficient in Hurler syndrome, but in Hunter syndrome, there is iduronate 2 sulfatase. There is iduronate 2 sulfatase enzyme is deficient, and Hunter syndrome is X-linked recessive. Hunter syndrome is X-linked recessive, and this is all about these are the features of this lysosomal storage disease. Now I would like to discuss about glycogen storage disease. Starts with this von Gerke and Pompe disease. In von Gerke disease, this is a picture of von Gerke disease. In von Gerke disease, there is enzyme is deficient is glucose 6 phosphatase. Glucose 6 phosphatase is deficient. In here there is increased glycogen in liver. In here there is increased glycogen in liver. There is increased blood lactate. This is another important talk I would like to describe, that in von Gerke disease there is increased blood lactate. On the other hand, in Pompe disease, in Cori disease, there is normal blood lactate. So if you want to differentiate between von Gerke and von Gerke and Cori, in von Gerke there is increased lactate. On the other hand, in Cori there is normal lactate. and Pompe is related to pump, that means heart, is heart defect. Pompe is related to heart defect. In Pompe disease, there is increased cardiomegaly, there is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, there is exercise intolerance, and systemic findings leads to early death. In Pompe disease, systemic findings leads to early death, and the deficient enzyme is lysosomal acid alpha 1,4 glucosidase. Lysosomal acid alpha 1,4 glucosidase, and in here, as it is pump defect, you will get short pear and white QRS. There is short pear and white QRS. There is increased creatinine kinase and increased AST and LDH. These are all the features of Pompe disease. So Pompe is related to pump, that means heart. So there is cardiomegaly, there is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, there is exercise intolerance, and systemic findings leads to early death. And in here you will get lysosomal acid alpha 1,4 glucosidase with alpha 1,6 glucosidase activity, and this enzyme is deficient. So as a feature, you will, as it is related to heart, you will get findings on ECG, that means short peer interval, white QRS, and you will also get increased CK, increased AST, and increased LDH. And I have already differentiated between two diseases, that von Garke and Cori. Von Garke has increased lactate. On the other hand, in Cori, he is normal lactate. In von Garke, Cori is milder form of von Garke. The features of von Garke are increased uric acid, hepatomegaly, renomegaly, and in here liver doesn't regulate blood glucose. The deficient enzyme for von Garke is glucose 6 phosphatase. And as a treatment, you should give frequent oral glucose or cornstarch, avoidance of fructose and galactose, impaired gluconeogenesis and glycogenolysis. On the other hand, C for D, that means Cori for D branching enzyme, and in here there is accumulation of limit dextrin-like structure in cytosol, and the high yield point is abnormally shorter outer chain. This is the common finding for Cori disease. Cori means, in Bangla it is called COM, that means abnormal shorter outer chain, and in here gluconeogenesis is intact. And the last disease, that is McArdle disease. This is called lactate curve. In lactate curve, you will get this flat venous curve, and these flat venous lactate curve with normal rise of ammonia indicates that this is McArdle disease. It is the hallmark that flat venous lactate curve. Flat venous lactate curve is hallmark with normal rise in ammonia levels during exercise. And McArdle disease M4M, that means myophosphorylase enzyme is deficient. In McArdle, myophosphorylase enzyme is deficient. And McArdle is related to muscle. There is painful muscle cramp. There is myoglobinuria. There is painful muscle cramp. There is myoglobinuria, and there is myoglobinuria with strenuous exercise and arrhythmia from electrolyte abnormalities. There is second winged phenomenon noted during exercise due to muscular blood flow. Second winged phenomenon noted during exercise. And in here blood glucose level typically unaffected. In here, blood glucose level typically unaffected. In here, there is in myocardial there is increased glycogen in muscle, but muscle cannot break it down. So these are all about lysosomal and glycogen storages. I know it's a very painful topic and it's hard to actually remember. So you have to see this video more and more, and you have to go through books like first aid. And if you just go through books again and again, inshallah, you will be remember in no time. And that's all for today. Pray for me.